Okay, today's going to be a really short one here. Just a quick update. I'm working on developing the terrain pack to launch for people. So I'll show you what I've got here, but just a quick little walk. You can see these two textures. I've got a dark asphalt cracked up and damaged and a light asphalt cracked up and damaged. So those are over here. And what I've done is I've laid down the different textures in the pack and I have them laid out at the different levels. So we'll start here at the beginning. There is the transition terrain into the Techie 1. There is the Techie 1. There's the transition 2 into the Techie 1. You can see there's different ground patterns. There's a cave texture. There is the ivy wall with the stone walk path. There is the grassy cliffs. This is actually just a placeholder. I'm going to make a swamp water for there. For now, it's just the normal water in the system. I haven't changed anything there yet. This is the second version of the ivy brick wall. The second version of the grassy cliffs. First version of the asphalt cracked. Second version of the cave wall. And the second version of the cracked asphalt. Over here, same thing. They're all at level 1. So you can kind of see there's a little bit of difference to be seen, but not much. I did these so that I was covering each level. There's at level 2. Again, transition 1 versus transition 2. You can see here where the mouse is. It's a little more of a brownie with a little bit more of a orangey gold rock. Here it's more of a goldy, shiny rock with a brown, more of a darker brown, chocolatey texture. Cave wall 1, ivy wall 1, a little bit darker. Grassy cliffs 1, nice kind of a shaly cliff surface. Again, that placeholder. Ice. Then there's the second. You can see that the difference between the second ivy wall, it's a little bit lighter. The top surface is the same, but what I've done is I've made the green a little more punched and a little more prolific. So it's a little lighter on the actual ivy side. So you've got differences in the ivy textures, but the top is the same. And that's the same for the cliffs. You can see the top is the same texture for the cliffs, but you've got the shale type texture here, like more like the Irish cliffs. You've got a little more like the Arizona cliffs here, like a little more on the red side. So again, the grasses stayed the same. Here the cobblestone stayed the same, but there's a little variance in the texture. I felt it was important in the tile set to have a couple variations for each type of texture. Over here, same thing with the asphalt. You've got more or less the same, slightly different, but more or less the same in the ground texture, but you've got a lighter gray asphalt and a darker gray asphalt. And again in the cliffs, you've got the same thing. The cliff texture is a little darker here, a little more chocolate brownie here, right? So you've got a few variations available. What this does is let you have in the same tile kit basically some variances. So no, your caves don't all look identical. Your roads between towns don't all look identical. Your cliffs don't all look identical. You can have different brick walls with ivy on them. They don't all look identical. So and your transitions into your techie wall for your interior dungeons, if you're doing it, it allows for a transition. This one here allows for a transition from the normal stock. I'll just walk to the edge here to show you. From the normal stock, it transitions really well. You can see it there where the mouse is to here. It transitions well. And then if you want to transition from a darker, see how dark that second transition is? That allows you to transition a little better from this one or maybe this one. I probably should add a third transition in, a little better matching to this one. This one matches this one pretty good, so that'll be a better transition there. They're not perfect transitions, but they're pretty good. And for this type of engine, and considering what the base graphics are that came with it, it's like, here's your base graphics. Pretty good. You'll have a pretty good transition. Here's the next level up. So you can see like here between the ivy and the ivy, you can really see the difference in the green shades and the darkness levels. It just makes it a different wall, right? Same with the cliffs, little different cliffs. And same with the, let me just go this way just a hair. Same with the textures between the cave walls, textures between the asphalts. You're just getting that extra level of variety in the tile kit, even though they're essentially the same tiles. Same here, you're getting differences. The one thing I haven't figured out, and I'll try to figure it out, but maybe it's just a lighting thing or something, because the render cube looks fine. This is the transition line here. Oh, sorry, no, here. That's the transition line into the wall. And I'm getting this dark shade here, but there isn't a dark shade there difference in the tile. I'm just going to minimize and show you. If I go into my resources, oh, I guess I have to exit again. I didn't realize that. Hold on. Exit that. Go back into my resources. And if I go into Techie Pattern 1, you can see there isn't that black strip. Like, it should just be fine. There should be no issue. So that's why I'm thinking it's probably something to do with the lighting. It looks like it should be handled fine. There's no difference in the mapping, so I'm not sure. Anyway, that's all I really wanted to cover was what have I got going on? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That'll be 7 when I get it done. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Got 12 textures in this bundle so far. I'm probably going to shoot in a few generic ones. My idea is to make out of terrain some like housing in the background or some bushes in the background. So I'm going to probably try and bring this up to 16 or 20 different textures and then release that as my first texture pack or terrain pack. It should give you quite a variety if you're trying to get started and want something a little more realistic than the textures and terrains that they give you. So on that note, I'm going to end that here and have a good night.